You know that it's fun to go out, except I never leave my house. I'm either at work or home, and it seems kind of pathetic just drinking alone. So if you got nothing going on, have some drinks with Ron.
Hello, welcome to Drinks with Ron. This is a second take at the intro without my penis hanging onto my pajamas. You're welcome. It's probably not a good sign. This is my first drink and I got my dick hanging out on the internet. Thank God for editing. But I digress. I got Ronzo's Bacon Bloody Mary, complete with bread and butter pickle, using Jimmy Love's sneaky hot sauce. Rendering a video, getting it ready to upload right now while I am. Got some time to kill. I was just reading some articles online about wrestling. If you watch the show, I've mentioned pro wrestling a lot. I'm a big pro wrestling fan. I was, ever since the time I was probably in first grade, all the way through some point in middle school, when I think I got sick of listening to everybody's shit, getting ripped on for watching wrestling, and I just kind of checked out. But moved to Madison after I graduated, and a bunch of the guys that I hung out with were into wrestling, so I got right back into it there. Of course, fell out of it as soon as I moved home, and then moved to lacrosse a couple of years later, where my roommate got me back into it, where I've stayed ever since. So, yeah, big wrestling fan for the majority of my life, and like I said, I just got sick of people giving me grief about it. Well, the article that I was just reading online, there was a couple of guys who were in a, well, not really independent, I guess they worked for a company, but it's kind of like, you know, single A of wrestling, and essentially these guys were called up to the major leagues, kind of given an interview and a tryout, and had contracts that were going to be offered to them. Well, contracts were rescinded because one of them, about 2 or 3 months before this, which is just, I mean, perfect timing. I mean, shit, they didn't even know about it. Like, the guys had so little exposure that the company that was interviewing them didn't even know that there was a big Twitter blow up where after the state that they were from legalized gay marriage, apparently one of them had some really, really fucking stupid things to say. And at which point he had to publicly apologize, donate a bunch of his pay to some fucking hollow, empty gesture because he doesn't mean it. He really believes the stupid bullshit he said in the first place. But had the contract offers rescinded because of the stupid shit that he had written months earlier. In fact, his Twitter account was down. He doesn't even exist anymore by the time that he had the interview. But they pulled him. And I just had to laugh. I love that. I love that when somebody stupid and ignorant says something stupid and ignorant, and then it costs them. It's great. And that's how it should work, damn it. I was just pumped when it did. Especially because, like I said with wrestling, you hear so much shit as a wrestling fan that you don't want guys like that to make it up to the higher levels where they get exposure and people know who they are, because wrestling and wrestling fans already have this rap to beat. What's the first thing you'll hear if you're a wrestling fan? Oh, yeah, you know that's not real, right? Oh, that shit's not real. Well, define real. It's very real. I've seen dudes injured, a guy died. Yeah, it's real as shit. Is it scripted? Do they know the outcomes of the matches? Yes. You know, in fact, now, you know, the big time, their promos are scripted down by a team of writers for the most part. So yes, it's scripted. So are all the fucking sitcoms you guys watch. Does anybody go around and you say, you know Seinfeld's fake, right? Like, yeah, of course you know Seinfeld's fucking fake. I know Kramer's not really out there running around. I get it. But somehow with wrestling fans, people feel not only that it's appropriate, but necessary to browbeat them with, oh, you know it's not real. Well, fuck you. It's very real. People get hurt all the fucking time Stone Cold Steve Austin had his neck broken on a pile driver. Had to have that neck fusion surgery where he still can't turn right. It's horrible. I mean, the shit these guys go through, the brain trauma alone. But like I said, you don't want to see these guys like that make it, because it just reinforces the negative stereotypes that people already have about wrestlers and wrestling and the fans. I'll put it to you this way. After I'd been in lacrosse a year or so, there was a party at my house. I didn't feel like partying that particular night. So, as I've got a living room full of people, going to, my roommates and everybody included, just going to town out there, I decided I was going to sit in my room, on my bed, window open, and read a book. Oh my God, right? So my roommate brings these two girls in to meet me, I think just trying to get me to go out in the living room and party. I just said, no big deal. I wasn't bitching about anybody, do what you're going to do. I don't care. I just didn't feel like drinking that night. So, yeah, I'm reading a book, and these two girls come in, and they're very attractive. And, kind of trying, why don't you party and come out and drink with us? And I'm just like, I don't feel like it tonight. I'm kind of in the middle of this book. I kind of want to finish it. Well, what is it? Well, I tell her it's a book that was by a pro wrestler. At which point she's like, oh, well, that's too bad. Like, really? I've got a living room full of people swilling cheap domestic beer, spilling it all over the place. It's like a July evening, so it's hotter than shit, plus the body heat. It's probably 100 degrees in my living room. Everyone's pouring sweat that fucking reeks. Just total BO and beer swill. Cranking music, acting like jackasses, having a good old time. I'm in my room quietly reading a book, and I'm the dumbass. It was just like, wow. Because the book was written by a wrestler, she proceeded to just condescend to me left and right. It's like, oh yeah, gee, why would I want to miss going out in the living room and be judged by some uppity bitch? That sounds like a great time. Perhaps I'll grab a Coors Light and join you. It's like, fuck you, this book is good. Dude, it was actually The Rock talking about, being in Miami, being behind Warren Sapp on the depth chart, so not getting to play much, trying to make it in the CFL, having to pull their mattresses out of a garbage dump. Just great story of perseverance and dudes trying to make it at something. And like I say, I'm reading quietly in my room, and everybody else is swilling beer and being loud and obnoxious, and I'm the dumbass. So it's one of those things where it's just mind-boggling. You mentioned wrestling, and people automatically assumed you're some slope forehead, slack-jawed Neanderthal that has no vocabulary. And it's just like, you've got to be shitting me. So I've dealt with it over and over, and like I said, always feels good when a guy like that doesn't make it up to the big time where he can be a stupid asshole with a lot of people watching. So I feel really, really good about that. But the silence from my computer tells me my video is probably about rendered, so I'm going to get it uploading another Drinks with Ron. So for Drinks with Ron, signing off.